This is the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well. This is one of the greatest role-playing games ever made. It is the Elder Scrolls. It is Oblivion. And yeah, this is pretty spectacular. So what they've done is they've essentially taken the original engine, shoved it into Unreal Engine 5, and just spectacularly enhanced the experience for the current generation. And I think you will be pretty blown away if you've played this prior and you're stepping back into it, or maybe you're going to be diving into it for the first time. So yeah, this literally is one of the greatest games ever made. A lot of you may only know Skyrim. That's how long it's been since this game came out. You may think that this is basically the Elder Scrolls 6, but no. This is a special experience from many, many years ago, and they've brought it back absolutely beautifully here. And yeah, returning fans are going to love it. New players are going to fall in love with Oblivion for the first time, and I think you will be just floored by what this has to offer. And the biggest request I had, you can sprint! Look, I'm running! I'm running in this game! Seriously, that is a genuine innovation for Oblivion. Look, I'm sprinting! Before you used to just walk everywhere. But now you can actually run. And wow, it is absolutely majestic. Now, with that, there are some performance issues on this one that I will go over and talk about a little bit later on. And you'll probably see that as we continue to play the game and go through it. It's, like I said, it's the original game. And what they've done is they have overlaid a new visual aesthetic on it with Unreal Engine 5 here. And the results are just absolutely magical. The biggest change being really, I think, like the visuals, the character models, and just all the reworked stuff. So this is the complete edition of, you know, Oblivion. So you're not missing anything. We've got all the, you know, all the DLC, the Shivering Isles, the Knights of the Nine. All the magic is back. Wow, my timing is just like, I'm nailing it today. So you can be whatever you want. Noble warrior, sinister assassin, a crazy sorcerer, a blacksmith. Forge your own path. Rediscover Cyrodiil. Cyrodiil? I think I said that right. As you enjoy and work through the world of Tamriel. And look, there's a butterfly. But no, this is pretty amazing. Let's talk about the technical stuff here. So this is the quality mode we've been seeing, if you've been wondering about the frame rate. So this is your sort of like 4K, 30. Again, it's like it's UE, so everything's temporally scaled. It looks like internally it's like 1080, which is kind of weird because I was getting similar readings off of the PS5 version, the PS5 Pro version. But yeah, that kind of seems to be the thing. And then performance mode, which we'll show in just a sec here, just kind of switching to. We've got FOV first, FOV third for changing settings, motion blur on or off, and screen space reflections. Then there's other settings and accessibility things that you can change in this game. Pretty straightforward though. Difficulty, which is a big change up if you've been, you know, playing this game in the past. Obviously, it was just kind of default thing. So this is another thing where I was kind of like, okay, but it seems like it's 4K, but it's supposed to be like dynamic and something just south of like 1700p-ish. And, you know, again, it's scaling, and depending on what you see is kind of what you get. And just compared to what I saw on the Pro, it is a bit like sort of blurrier, but at the same time it is very crisp. And again, there are like performance drops that you're going to see when you're playing, but, you know, it is relatively smooth. It's targeting 60 FPS. Performance mode is going to be the way you want to play and enjoy this game, and what I personally recommend if you are looking at diving in and enjoying the world of Oblivion. So we've done the main island here. Let's move on. We're going to show off some other areas and talk about this masterful game. So from a starter context, this game basically begins, you're in a jail. You make your character, you choose some things, some stats, some settings, you know, some role-playing things. And then there's a big commotion, there's a situation happening. This important person has arrived. You're the person that they've seen in their dreams. And big actor kind of plays that character if you didn't know. And then from there, you're basically sent through this little escort thing to help out this important person. Things go, as things go in these kinds of experiences. And then you're thrust out onto an adventure where you have to deliver this special item to a very important person. And you can kind of do that however you want. Or you could just not kind of do that. It really is up to you and how you want to enjoy the game. So all the little silly fun things of this experience from back in the day are present here. It's still got that charm of Bethesda thing where it's like, there's some little bugs here or there. Can I? This is nature at its finest. So, the charm of Bethesda has not been lost, in case you were wondering. I'm glad they finally broke it off there. I was worried for a second that you deer wouldn't be able... Oh, was it because of the mud crab attacking me? It's probably the mud crab. That's fair. But yeah, no, they've really reworked this thing. Like, it is a pretty massive improvement. Like, I don't even think I could really fully capture just how much this game has changed, but yet also has remained the same. So, HUD, menu, map reworks, we'll show that off here. So it's probably the setup that you are used to, but they have just made it a lot smoother, a lot better to move through. Your magic, your spells, everything like that. Reworked systems, mechanics, modified mechanics. Obviously, sprint was a big thing. The map's been redone. Much better map system and everything like that. More accessibility, like I mentioned, enemy scaling, autosaves, and more save options. Just big reworking for this game. You gotta remember, this game is really quite old, but it looks brand new. So I'm assuming that this is going to start a trend, or the last couple that I've seen like this is going to be a trend where basically they're just taking old engines, they're just throwing UE5 on top of them, and we're going to see a whole swath of games from this era or older getting touched up like that. I personally haven't believed that Morrowind would really be doable until I kind of saw what we're getting here today, and I'm hoping they take a crack at doing Morrowind. I always said Morrowind was too big. It had too many problematic things, but seeing the effort here and what we got out of this, I'm genuinely starting to think that Morrowind is an achievable thing for the first time ever, so there you go on that. Now, the game is, like I said, quite beautiful, it's quite fun. There are performance drops that are quite frequent, kind of no matter which mode you go, and that's just kind of the usual Unreal Engine 5 kind of stuff. So I'm imagining, in a future generation, this will probably run better. I mean, they'll probably, bump it up, too, for a future generation as well. But yeah, I do ponder just how much this stuff is going to change in the long term. I could see a whole fleet of quickly done games from the 360 era, or even earlier, that are pumped up like this, and that'd be quite wonderful, because, I mean, I think this looks really quite amazing. I don't want to go to a sinkhole. Little butterflies going by. This is just amazing. Now, that being said, I will definitely comment that I do think this game has lost a bit of its aesthetic and vibe. I know that sounds weird because you're looking at this and you're like, this is gorgeous. What are you talking about? This is beautiful. This is amazing. But it doesn't really look like Oblivion. It sort of looks like regular Unreal Engine 5 games. The rock texturing, the aesthetics, everything like that. Sure, yeah, it's Oblivion, but it definitely... it doesn't have that sort of rich, vibrant, saturated color palette. That game had, a really high fantasy kind of vibe, and this looks more like Skyrim. And I bet you they're going to do this to Skyrim, too. I almost guarantee it. You're going to see a Skyrim port like this. Skyrim remastered or something like that. I'm not even kidding. You could easily do something like this to Skyrim and give it a whole bunch of new life to it, right? I really don't think that's going to be too crazy. But that's the thing, is it's the game and this looks wonderful. Do not get me wrong here. But if you are someone that is a veteran, having played Oblivion prior, I think you will first be blown away, and then secondly, you'll be like, oh, it does sort of lack that aesthetic, if that makes sense, that rich, vibrant color palette. But, it's okay. And it looks amazing. It really does. This looks like... Basically, it's the equivalent of if you made Oblivion today, this is what it would look like. And I think, as I was saying, a lot of fans will be like, oh, wow, this is look, you can see that thing all the way over there. It looks like the Elder Scrolls 6 almost in terms of visual fidelity and stuff. And it's kind of amazing. But all the old things are still here. You know, the loading, the quirks, the funny little bits that you knew and loved. All the loading screens, yep. All the loading screens. But also all the items, the physics of the world. All that stuff has been beautifully touched up. And it looks amazing. That's what I'm saying, is like, we're gonna see... I'm pretty sure we're gonna see more games get this sort of a touch-up. Like, it is gonna be crazy the next several years of gaming, just in terms of, like, old stuff and revitalizing things and... Yeah, just the character model qualities here. It is a generational gap. And I am absolutely blown away by this. And again, coming back to what I was saying earlier, where this is a genuinely must, like, you must play this game if you've been thinking about it. This is one of the greatest games ever made. It's, you know, you'll say some things, oh, they haven't aged the best, but that's the whole point of, like, this remastering, is to touch things up, to improve stuff, but to also retain the vibe, the aesthetics, the style, the feeling of playing Oblivion. That's the thing. And it's, you know, I'm saying aesthetics, but, like, I know it doesn't really look as colorful and stuff, but it still looks like Oblivion, because, you know, it's the same game, it's just overlaid and adjusted and things, but that's what I was trying to get across, is just how much things have changed. Swordcraft, magic, making your own character, battling against the Daedric invasion. So you can go to these, like, cool, the best I can say in layman's terms, these ethereal places where you're, like, in these, like, dark portal stuff, and you're kind of fighting all these crazy creature things, and there's mystical portals and stuff. It's pretty wild. It really is. Like, it's a pretty wild experience seeing all that stuff here. And yeah, no, this game is really just, it's filled to the brim with, like, characters to meet, people to talk to, monsters to fight, and just, like, a delightfully enchanting experience that I think you could just waste away countless hours on, and you will be pretty blown away by it. Like, I'm gonna work on, like, a comparison so you can really see the difference later on, but, like, this is revolutionary as far as taking something that we know and love and just giving it a fresh coat of paint that really does take it to such that next level of quality. Like, it feels like you're rediscovering this world for the first time. And the sense of scale for this game is amazing. So that's one of the most exciting things about Oblivion, and I'm feeling it all over again for the first time. When you step outside for the first time in the sewers, that was the view I was showing you, was when you step outside for the first time, that's the view you get. That's why I always start my videos when I play this in that area, because that is the magic. And then take a look here, and just kind of take this in as we go a little bit further along in this video. But it's the scale. Like, the fun of it was, no matter where you went, you know, trees would disappear, things would scale. This was always, this central structure was always present no matter how far you go. And that is so exciting, because it really does feel like you are in a massive fantasy world. You are seeing crazy things, you are fighting all these creatures, but, like, it's a world that feels, like, tangible. It's a world that feels like you're in it, and you're adventuring along on it, and it's fantasy, and it's Elder Scrolls, and it's the charm and the heart of the series that you know and love. And it's just, it's such a, like, incredible distance and design that, yeah, I think you will be probably pretty floored by this. Like, I am, you know, there's not more than enough good things I could say about this game. It's just the, yeah, the performance level definitely leaves a bit to be desired, but that is, like, such a Unreal Engine 5 kind of thing these days, right? And the combat improvements are so much better. Like, I think, I don't know. There's one thing, too, where this does look a lot more Skyrim-esque, which is kind of funny, so I wonder if other people are gonna feel that, too, when they're coming and playing this. Because it is hilarious as well, because it's still got all the slopes and all the movement. Back in the day, you would just hop. Like, you would just hop along this. Like, you wouldn't have sprinting, you wouldn't have that kind of a movement. So that in itself is a true achievement for this experience, is actually allowing us to move through it quickly, have the improvements, but yeah, it definitely is like a blurrier thing. in the open world. Might have been because my tests were kind of taken in the dungeons, where I was kind of doing my testing for like resolution scaling stuff. That's kind of on a good day, but like again, what I was trying to show was earlier, we were a lot closer. Now we're a lot further, and before we were beside that place, and now we're all the way over here. But you can still see that area. You could still see that environment that we've been to, that we've come from. And that, to me, is really magical, that, like, we get to play the game like this. I am just absolutely floored by the achievement of this game. Like, you're gonna just be blown away by it. You're gonna have so much fun with it. You're gonna love it, just like I loved it. There's, like, a hidden, like, trap thing we can do there, but we'll just keep moving around.
This is a holdup. Hand it over or die.
You die.
Actually, that's the way this one prefers it.
I bet it is, Highwayman. Ugh.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
I mean, I'm gonna end your life, but, you know, whatever. Da, 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 da. Oh, and the music of this game, beautiful. The gameplay of this game, beautiful. It really is, like I said, one of the greats. Like, you will be blown away by this. Why am I not wearing shoes at all? Yeah. There we go, got some sandals on. Probably earned the feet walking around all barefoot out in the middle of the forest for no reason. Oh wait, but you get the full experience too, right? Like, you get all the content, you get all the different things, you get to see everything that this has to offer, and I think you will be blown away by this classic. I do also hope that to some degree, if this is your first time playing Oblivion, that you maybe consider taking a look at like what the original is like, and you will be just that much more impressed by the changes. You'll be like, holy, this world has completely evolved and stuff, and yeah, and how much, like, it's different, but how much it is the same, how much it's something that people have loved over the years and appreciated over the years, and now it's back and looking like this. Like, it's so interesting. I can't wait to see them do this with like other Bethesda games, other 360 era, or even original Xbox games would be so like largely benefited from this remarkable improvement. And there is a reason this game was so well loved and respected at its time. Like, you really will come in here and you will be like, holy, like, if you're a fan, you've probably been along the ride with me and just been the whole time with your like jaw on the floor being like, oh, I can't believe this improvement. And it's like, it feels like this came out of nowhere.
Yes.
Which I think is kind of fun, and then like the lighting, the changes, the charm of it all.
I'm Brother Joffrey. What do you want?
I need your help. Here's the amulet. The Emperor's last words. Close shut the doors of jaws of oblivion. Okay, I'll go get to it.
You must find Martin before the enemy does.
I will. Don't worry, I will be the hero. But you can also just, like, do whatever you want. Like, you know, it's a role-playing game. Like, a freedom role-playing game. Like, a lot more choice and everything like that than what you get today out of a lot of stuff. Choose how you want to go through it. Choose what you want to do while you're playing and experiencing this. Visit whatever you want. Walk around the world. Fast travel across the world. Sprint, or walk, or hop, or shoot. I'll shoot. Shoot magic. Stab things. It's really, really quite wonderful. I'm so happy that, like, a new gaming generation gets to play and have fun with Oblivion. You know, it's like cool. It's like a handoff of something that's, like, obviously the core of this game is pretty perfect, so now people can come in here and enjoy Coral, just like, you know, other people did over the years, and that's really, really quite special. It looks great. It's got the same quirks, the same fun, the same heart that it always did. It's just, yeah, much, much better. Now, that being said, like I said, performance problems, obviously. And then it has lost a bit of that aesthetic charm, but yeah, this is about what an Oblivion game would look like if it actually came out today. I can't wait to see what they do with the Elder Scrolls 6 after this, and it feels a little bit less far away after playing this and experiencing it and seeing what it has to offer. And yeah, this is such an upgrade.
What is it
All
now?
right then, I'm listening.
They say that the priests and priestesses